Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. So it is holiday time. I'm so excited. I'm going to a holiday party tonight with my hubs. So I thought, what better of a time to talk about holiday looks, party looks. So I went ahead and did this look, which is a smoky glitter eye nude lip. And then I also did a wing liner classic bold lip, which I feel like you can't go wrong either way. But I'm showing you both today, and I'm talking about a giveaway, my first giveaway here on YouTube. So I'd be happy if you would enter to win. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe so you see when my next video drops. And thank you guys for being here. Love you. All right, friends, let's get started on this Get Ready With Me. Of course, holiday edition, can you tell? Normally not in such a bright shade, but you know, if you can't wear red during the holidays, when can you, right? Okay, I am going to go ahead and start this video by announcing a giveaway, which is really rare for me because I normally don't do giveaways, but I want to spend the month of December thanking you guys and showing you how appreciative I am that you're here. So I'm saving one of my biggest items for YouTube. So in order to qualify, I will put the deets below, but pretty much share this video and you'll be entered to win a clutch from Maskcara. So if you're not familiar with what the clutch is, this is mine. I have a brand new one for the winner, obviously, but it is pretty much your wallet and it holds all of your makeup in the other side. Okay, and it's got a chain, crossbody. This is the charcoal gray vegan leather. Okay, so if you want to be qualified to win that, check out the description box below. And once again, thank you for being here. Let's get started with the tutorial. I want to show you guys two holiday party looks. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started with my makeup. Okay. My hair is extra big today because, you know, it's gotta keep the volume through the night, right? So I'm gonna start just by priming my eyes and then we will get to the face. So this is my favorite eye primer of the moment from Amazon. Thank me later. And I'm just gonna put a thin coat all over my eyes because I'm gonna actually show you two different eye looks. So I wanna make sure those babies stay in place. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face with my Stay setting spray. This is the non-SPF version. So I do about 3 sprays and then I'm going to put that all over and let it dry. So I already have SPF on and I let that soak in a good, oh, it's been hours, let's be real. And so I am going to be ready for my foundation. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my face first. So if you're new to mascara, I have a lot of beginner videos, but I'm just gonna kind of talk you through it as I go. My favorite brush, Buffy, okay? I don't necessarily recommend this for beginners, but once you are a veteran with mascara, I really urge you to try it because it's so good. I'm gonna go in with the big side and my color corrector, which is Mango. So just tap and I'm gonna start pushing that on my mask area. So pretty much under my eyes. Can you tell where I'm darker than the rest of my face? That is what I need this for. Otherwise, you're not gonna get the longevity you want if you use too light of a shade on those darker areas. So I'm just kind of pressing and flicking to blend. And I'm putting very light coverage. So you can't even see it on my skin, but I promise it's there and it's making a huge difference. So around my nose gets really red. A lot of people's noses are red or darker. And so just using a darker shade just right there where you need it is really gonna help. Okay, and then through here, I've got some redness. Okay, so under my eyes, I've got a lot of purple tones. I like to use my finger. I like to use the heat, and I just tap in, and then I press it on with the heat of that my finger. The warmth of my skin will kind of meld it in. And I can get like a really nice thin layer so it doesn't look super dark or anything like that, but it's getting all the way up in that tear duct area where I have all that purple. See that? Just disappears. So with this makeup, it's so important. Build up thin layers. So that was my first layer, super thin, just on my dark areas. I'm gonna go in and hit this spot, hyperpigmentation, again with my finger, kind of letting that warm up and melt in better. And then anywhere I have blemishes, so you can pick up a brush or you can use your finger again. So I've got a doozy right there. Just gonna press that in. And then for my eyelids, I like to even them out because they're pale and yet veins are showing. So I like to kind of use my Mango, which is my color corrector. And then I'll put some of my main shade over that so it's not pulled too warm. Pretty much just like I do my face. Okay, next shade, my main shade, Sandy. So just like I did with my lids, tapping in, and I am pressing this one on. This is going to make sure everything stays matching. So I put this one on everywhere. And I'm going for more of a full coverage, medium to full coverage look since it's a nighttime party I'm going to tonight. And I want my makeup to last all day because it is nowhere near nighttime yet. I don't want my makeup to fade. So it's important if you have dark circles like I do to use that color corrector and then press on your main shade to bring it all to matching, and then you can go in and brighten later. So we're going to go back to brightening after we contour. So my Ride or Die contour brush, the Detail Hack. And since it's a nighttime event, I'm gonna go a little bit more dramatic on my contour. So I'm gonna use a mixture of two different contour shades. So a cool tone and a warm tone to kind of get the best of both worlds. So I'm gonna start with Astoria. So this is pretty dark, but it is very cool. Okay, I'm gonna load up half my brush and I'm then just gonna start pressing and placing that color towards my mouth, stopping at the side of my eye, and then I'm going to press. Okay, flick up to blend. I feel like I did not get my highlight all the way. It's okay. No mistakes, right? Okay, so I feel like this right here is really harsh. So I'm just going to take my brush that I just used with my highlight and I'm just gonna kind of press right there and blur that edge out so it fades naturally as it goes. Okay, and I cannot see it from straight on. That is good. Don't want it in here. Okay, I'm gonna do the same side, repeat. Sometimes the hardest part of contour is making sure they match. Okay, so then I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna do a darker shade on my forehead. So I'm gonna go in, actually, I'm gonna use that same shade on my jawline because I don't want super dark down there. So starting where the shadow's the darkest, and I'm just gonna pull, and then I'm gonna pull down to carve out that jaw and to blend down the neck so everything stays matching. Okay, now I'm going to use just literally the very edge of the brush. You can also flip around and use this side too. And I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of indigo. Okay, so indigo is our almost darkest contour shade, but it is neutral, so it has a lot more warmth in it. But I'm just gonna like concentrate it right on this lower part, like that. Can you see how I just popped it right on the very bottom of my contour to really just kind of chisel it out and create a little bit more depth. And then I'm just gonna push that up like I'm just pushing up my cheekbone. Okay, it adds a little bit of warmth as well, which I like from my contour. It's a personal opinion, but some people can't wear indigo by itself because it's too warm, but this might be a good alternative if you ever want to kind of fancy it up for date night or special occasion. And it gives so much more depth because of that darkness, especially if you have darker skin and Astoria doesn't quite pull dark enough for you. Okay, so I love indigo on my forehead because sometimes the other ones don't really show quite the same, and you'll be able to see why when I push it on. Okay, and I'm gonna go all the way down to my temples because my forehead is wider, especially right here where my hairline is wonky. And then you can go down farther on your forehead if it is higher as well. So key with foreheads, blend up into that hairline and then pull down to blend with the highlight. Otherwise, you cannot mess that area up, okay? So it just frames your face like so. Okay, so I'm gonna go into a little bit of detail contouring. I don't do this on the daily, but let's be real. When it comes to nighttime looks, I love a great nose and lip contour. So I am going to use a little bit of Astoria. I'm afraid indigo might be a little too dark for me. And I'm gonna use the small end of the detail and I'm just gonna go right under my lip. Can you see how it just creates a shadow and it kind of gives you that pout? Okay, then I'm gonna go again with Astoria because the key with nose contouring is you don't want to use a warm contour. Indigo will pull red on my nose. So you wanna go just with that edge again. Okay, and you can see how it's just on the edge. And then you wanna try to keep a straight line. I'm gonna have to look in the mirror to do this. Okay, right where your nose starts curving down. Can you see that line? Okay, then repeat on the other side. Key is to try to get them parallel, straight, and close together. Okay, so of course, my blemish is right where I nose contoured. That's okay. I'm gonna just take this small brush and pick up just a tiny bit of mango, and I'm gonna press it right on that blemish. Okay, and then I'm going to use more Astoria, and I'm gonna kind of blend that nose contour all the way up to my brow. I'm gonna try to do the same thing over here and try not to rub off where my blemish is. Just kind of lightly tap over it. And then the tip of your nose to make that look shorter. And there you go. You got half of a nose contour, and we'll finish up the rest after we accent brighten. So, all right, we're already ready to accent brighten. We are contoured and it's go time. Okay, so we're ready to accent brighten, and I like to do that before my lip and cheek. Totally personal preference, but I then flip over the Buffy, and I'm gonna go in with my lightest of my 3 highlights with it, which is Aura. And you know what? I just thought I might kick it up a notch too. So I'm gonna show you. I did use Mango as my color corrector, my main shade Sandy, and now I'm gonna use Aura to brighten, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna press this all the way up to that nose contour. So tap, go all the way up there, tap, all the way, and complete the triangle and fill in. Okay, so the key with under eye brightening is not to get too heavy-handed. So I like to try to show it a little heavier because camera doesn't always pick it up accurately as it does in real life. But in all actuality, this is plenty heavy, okay? And then when you perfect it out, it's gonna take away any of that makeup-y look and make it look like your skin again, okay? But the key is not to use too much, or this is where you're gonna run into issues with creasing or crepiness, making you look older under the eyes, which nobody wants that. We all want to make our eyes look more youthful, right? Okay, so I'm just pressing that all the way down, keep the nostril light and bright. Okay, and then I'm gonna use a dab right in the center of my forehead. And I'm gonna kind of press that out into the shape of an upside down triangle to bring light right there. Keep my chin light so it will match my neck. Okay, we don't want to be pulled too dark. Okay, a little bit right here on the Cupid's bow. Okay, and then you can then flip your brush so it's the pointed spot. Okay, and then you want to draw a line. I got way too much, see that? That's okay. Right in between those 2 contour lines, okay? Then just kind of pull it up and fan it out in between your brows, okay? You can flip that over and just start pressing it in and see how it automatically just blends out so well. Okay, and then we'll blend that more in a sec. So, I often get asked, people are like, oh, this brightener isn't bright enough for me. Okay, so if you're using something as bright as, say, I was, like Aura, which is one of our brightest shades, but it isn't the absolute brightest, I usually recommend trying something like Linen, okay? But a little goes a long way with this shade. So let me show you how I use it. I wouldn't apply this in the same way all the way underneath my eye because it's going to emphasize too much texture on me. So you can either grab a different brush or use your finger. I like to use my finger. Again, I feel like sometimes the warmth of your finger is just amazing for pressing in these cream highlights because creams melt in with the warmth. So I got a little bit on my finger, and that's probably too much, but so you can see it. And then I'm gonna concentrate that right at my tear duct area, okay? And that is where you want to concentrate the brightening, okay? Then you can grab a brush and kind of blend that out. No matter what brush, I recommend something where you can press, so you can kind of press it in and out, okay? You see how much bright, well, I probably shouldn't have done this side first, but this color is so brightening on someone with my skin tone. If you're lighter, I mean, it is brightening as well, but a little goes a long way with that color. I feel like sometimes people use too much and that's why they have issues. That was linen. So another good brush for that is this one. Something that will get in there in those small areas, or you could even use the small end of the detail. Okay, so we are fully highlighted. This is when I like to go in and perfect that out because I feel really makeup-y underneath my eyes, and I like to make sure I get all that off before I go in with my lip and cheek. So first of all, I'm going to do under the eyes, and I'm just going to press in those shades because let's be real, I just layered 4 highlights, okay? But it can still look like skin, you guys. It's all about keeping layers thin, and it does just take time to kind of learn these creams and learn how much is too much and learn how like little you need. Little goes a long way. Okay, so that's done. I'm gonna press it all over because I want to make sure I look airbrushed. Okay, so if your perfector is too wet, it will pull off your makeup in patches, okay? If it's not doing anything at all, it's not damp enough, okay? Too dry. So it's like Goldilocks. It needs to be just right. I have complete videos just talking about how to get it right. Okay, so my problem area is right here by my nose. Making sure it doesn't collect there. And you can see I perfected off my blemish spot again. So I always tell people like build up to that coverage, but you guys don't be afraid to go in and just add a little bit more, okay? And then when you do get to where you've perfected it, you are good, you can barely touch to tap it in, then you can go in and actually use a little bit of powder and press that on there so that it's not gonna be moving. It's not gonna come off once you're done perfecting, that is. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let's go in with lip and cheek before we go in to eye makeup because I wanna show you 2 different eye lip combos. So I'm going to stick with a more, I don't wanna say subtle, it's not like completely subtle, but my rule is if I'm gonna do a bold eye or a bold lip, I try not to do also a bold blush. So I'm gonna pick up the B Squared blush end and I'm gonna go in with Love Spell. I feel like it's the perfect sheer, yet it gives a great flush of color, and it's also just so pretty on the cheeks. It's got a little bit of sheen, and I really want a glowy look to my skin tonight. So I'm gonna go apples of the cheeks, right outside of them, and I'm just gonna start pressing on, following up my contour. Just like that. And I feel like it ties in really well with the shirt too. Hopefully it'll probably tone down just a tad as well. Okay. Okay, if you get any too close, once again, make sure you can just use that brush, pull it back over, get them even, and you're good to go. How many times can I say that? Okay, so while I'm doing my eyes, I am gonna make sure my lips are ready, because if I'm gonna wear lipstick, I've gotta have moisturized lips or it's not pretty. So I'm gonna use my lip conditioner, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to set under my eyes before I do my eye makeup. So the main reason for that, so some people like to do their eye makeup first, and I think it's a good practice. I like to use my highlights all over my lids and get all evened out before I do it. So I don't want to have a lot of creams underneath my eyes when I go in with my eyeshadow. If that area is not set and is still creams, when I go to brush away any excess, it's gonna stick. So I really like to make sure I have set under my eyes with powder so that when I do, if I do get any fallout, I can easily brush it away and it's not gonna be an issue. So let's pat out any creases. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab that Power Powder Brush, lightly touch, and then press on. Okay, you guys know I'm all about using the least amount of powder as possible under the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna use a whole lot more. I'm gonna swipe in for my eyelids. Since my eyelids are oily and I use those creams, I will get creasing if I don't generously powder to set that in place. Okay, and then also since I want my makeup to last all night, I'm gonna make sure I don't have, I tend to get creasing in my smile lines occasionally when I'm too heavy-handed. So I'm gonna use a little bit of powder right there. I'm gonna use a touch on my nose and the tip, and then right in between these brows. Get some tad shiny. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and spray again. So since I powdered, if I spray now, it's gonna kind of take away that powdery finish, which is what I like because I don't wanna look matte. I just wanna be set, but I like the dewy look. And so both of our Stay Sprays give a dewy finish. So if you want those areas matte, make sure you spray, then powder, and then you'll be golden, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and spray because I want my skin to be glowing. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry while I pick out an illuminator. So, decisions. I think I'm gonna kind of layer. For one, I feel like layering gives me more longevity for my illuminator. Not that it doesn't last, but I just like it. So I'm going to use one of the perfumes because I want a little multitasking. I'm gonna use number 3. I'm gonna swipe in and press on with my perfector. Okay, so it's gonna give me that glow underneath, but I'm also getting, and I like the subtleness of those on my face. Okay, but when it comes to, what's the word? The wow factor, there's no getting past these powders. They are amazing. So I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna do golds and stuff, so I'm gonna go with Georgia, okay? So I'm gonna tap in, tap off, and then just sweep right there, okay? Because these babies are pigmented and I don't want too blinding, but I want you to be able to see it. Okay, switch this around. And I like Starlit, which is it's a lot more finer sparkles, but it is like more iridescent. So that one's a good one for the Cupid's bow. You guys, I always seem to forget something. It never fails when I'm talking. I can't seem to remember what I'm doing. So don't pay attention to the fact that I already Stay Sprayed my face. I'm gonna go ahead and add it. You guys, I forgot Bella. So Bella bronzers right here. It was hiding between my contours. I'm gonna use the bronzer brush and I'm gonna just kind of tap into it because this baby's brand new and so she's concentrated. And I'm just going to really lightly go, especially because I already added my illuminator, I'm just gonna kind of warm up by going in that C formation around my face. And let's be real, I don't need a whole lot because I self-tan today, but I don't know. I just can't live without it. Okay, I'm gonna go down my neck. My biggest issue is like right here where it tends to get whiter. Okay, warm that up slightly. Keep everything matching. And then, oh, I forgot. I'm gonna add some of that same perfume behind my ears. Can't really see my collarbones in this shirt, but you know, I can sneak it in there a little bit. You'll be able to smell it, right? So, and then my wrists. Okay, we are illuminated. Let's do eyes. Okay, I'm gonna quickly do my eyebrows because nobody wants to watch that. Okay, it's boring. I'm gonna use the Hotline and Trust eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna fill them in super quick. Okay, so now that my face is framed, we can go ahead with our first eye look. So this is kind of my thinking when it comes to holiday looks. I always think of two things. I think of a smoky eye or a bold lip. And kind of the rule of thumb, now I don't like to talk about that there's actual rules with makeup because there are no rules, but sometimes you can look a little bit too much if you have on like a really bold lip with a really bold eye. So the general rule is either a bold eye or a bold lip and never at the same time. So kind of the same along lines of like a bold lip and cheek. I like to do more subtle on the cheeks, and then I'm gonna show you two different looks. First one's going to be a more natural eye with a wing and a bold lip. So let's get started with that one. This one's gonna be super simple eye look. I'm going to start with my ride or die Bubba eyeshadow and the Eyeshadow Everything brush. Okay, we're just gonna tap in and we're gonna just windshield wipe on right above the crease in order to get some definition to the eye and frame it out, okay? So like we're going nostril, eye, up to brow, we're gonna follow that line, and then we're just going to blend that in. Small circles, windshield wiper, and we're gonna build it up slowly with color. So the important thing with eyeshadow is not to go in too heavy-handed right off the gate. You really want to, first of all, that's what leads to fallout. If you have too much on your brush, like really tap off the excess and build up. You get so much better of a blend when you do it that way as well. And you don't have to worry about cleaning up fallout afterwards. Okay, so that is just Bubba. You could totally stop right there because Bubba's that awesome. I'm gonna just flip around the brush to the small end and halo. My favorite way to define the eye without looking harsh. Can you tell the difference? It's very subtle with this shade, but you can build it up for darker color as well. So, all right, now I'm gonna go in with, let's just go, we're actually gonna go a couple shades darker. So usually I do this with, where is it? Basic. So I usually do Bubba Basic. I'm gonna go to Oak, okay? And I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna go slightly lower on the eye, more in my socket. So more right in the crease and carve out that socket, okay? And this is gonna add depth. Can you see the difference? Same thing, build it up slowly. By starting with that lighter shade first, your darker shade is gonna blend so much better. and you can go with as much or as little of this one as you want, okay? So I feel like I got a little too far in there. I'm gonna pick up a clean eyeshadow everything brush. So one of my biggest tips is to have more than one, so you can always have one clean and make it strictly your blending brush, because when you blend with a dirty brush, it just muddies up colors. Okay, back to my other brush, and we're gonna do the other side. Now I'm gonna do the halo again with this darker shade. And this one I'm gonna go only about halfway instead of underneath the whole eye. Okay, and then pick up that blender brush and then blend, soften that. Okay, so that was with, gosh, I still need to blend. That was with 2 shades. Okay, very subtle. And you could stop there as well. I'm gonna take just a very nice neutral shade for just on the ball of the eye where there's nothing there. 2 good options for this would be Pup or Stay Golden, depending on your skin tone. So I'd say Stay Golden is like the exact same color as my lid. So when I show you, like when I put it on, you can't tell. And Pup is slightly lighter. So I prefer Pup for this area. So it kind of just gives that matte finish right there in the middle as kind of a slight highlight. Okay, and to finish this one off, you could either, if you want a little bit extra, because you want a little bit more sparkle on your eye, you could take a little bit of Stardust and pop it right into the center of your lid, and then just press that on right there. And it's gonna give just a little bit of glow. I'm going to use the Blend and Tap, and I'm just going to get a little bit of Sabrina, and I'm gonna pop it on that inner corner and under my brow as a highlight. Okay, and then I'm gonna concentrate more of the drama on my liner. So I'm torn between using ours or a liquid, and I think I'm gonna use both. So sometimes I find it's easier for me to draw on with a felt tip pen like this, especially when I'm wanting to do a wing. But I don't like the harshness it gives. Like the line has to be perfectly crisp or it looks messy. So I'm going to draw it on and then I'll show you how I keep it cleaned up, okay? So I'm gonna have to look down for this. I'm gonna go all the way to the inner corner. And this is Kat Von D's liquid liner. Go right along the lash line. Okay, then I'm going to look at where my lash line from the bottom is going and draw a line in that general direction when I close my eye. Okay, can you see that? Then I'm going to go to the end of that line and I'm gonna sweep it over, back over to create the wing. And then I'm gonna fill in that little gap. I don't know if you can even see the gap. I'm gonna fill that in. With the pen, which creates my wing, which is kind of hard to see because my lashes are so big. But so that's a general just slight cat eye. I kind of want it slightly smudged out. So I'm going to grab the Black Friday cream eyeliner and I'm gonna go over that line, okay? Because it's not perfect, because my hand is not perfectly steady. And I'm gonna go over it so I can kind of give that smoked out line that I want. I totally got it on my lower lash line. Okay, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but now I'm happy with what it looks like. So by layering those shades, I'm also gonna get crazy longevity because this baby's waterproof. This baby stays on so well. If you want even more assurance that it's not going anywhere, you can do the exact same thing and then just put on Salem, which is our black eyeshadow, right over that line. And that will lock it in place, and then it's not going anywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side real quick. Eyes are done. If you want to clean up any lines, I love the Multitasker. So try just the itty bitty end. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, so we've done our eyes. They are subtle. And now it's time to do our bold lip to go with it. Okay, you guys, I really struggled trying to decide what colors to use. So I had put my Milk lip conditioner on first, but in order to get the most staying power, I like to remove and make sure my lips are super clean and exfoliated. And this towel will help that. Okay, before you're gonna put on any of our shades. So let's first start by contouring out our lips. So I'm going to show you guys how you can use a contour to make your lips look bigger before you put your lipstick on. All right, and we're using indigo contour, which is what I used on my forehead and the bottom of my cheekbones. Okay, I'm gonna use the small end of the Multitasker to line the top and bottom of my lip first. The top of my lip, I like to keep it in the line. So not overlining, and then I just kind of press, or you can even use this end to kind of make sure the line's not too harsh. Okay, and then I'm going to take the big end and I'm going to make this look bigger. Let's see if I can do this in the camera. Okay, I'm gonna slightly overline the bottom. Use a small side again to kind of connect them. It's almost going to create a shadow, okay? And then I'm going to use that flat end again to create depth in the inner corners. Okay, so already my lips are looking bigger. Now it's time for lip and cheek. I picked Saffron. Can you guess why? It matches my top. So Saffron is a matte red, and it is, no joke, I think the most pigmented red we've ever had, or most pigmented shade we've ever had. So I'm going to start applying, and I'm going to use the Multitasker so it doesn't stain my finger. I'm going to try to keep the area I just darkened dark. I might have to add a little bit more. Okay, and I'm pressing that on. And I'm filling the top. So I love this shade because you can kind of, like, it's pretty dark already, but you can build it up depending on if you want just a lip stain effect or if you want it darker. Okay, sometimes I like to put it on and then go back to my contour. To layer that shade. I am so not used to matte lips. You guys know I'm a glossy girl, but I love that shade with my shirt. So I don't know if I could wear just straight matte all night. It's already driving me nuts. So, you know, leave it to me. I'm gonna add a little shimmer. This is Sunshine State. She is glorious. So I'm gonna add that right to the center. It's gonna add gold. Can you see that? And if you concentrate on the center, it's gonna make your lips look bigger. It also is just enough to take away that matte feeling that I can't stand and give me that look I want. So, you guys, that is look number uno. And let's come back and do look number 2. Yay! All right, friends, I'm back. My lips are a little pink. Took off my lipstick, and it's time to do look number 2. So, back to my lip conditioner. And I'm gonna do my eyes first. So, like I said before, this one's gonna be my bold eye nude lip look, which I also love for the holidays. And I'm gonna do this one last because this is what I'm gonna wear tonight. It's kind of my go-to because my husband hates lipstick and I have to go to this party with him tonight. So I don't want him to be like, why are you wearing that bright of a lipstick? And I have to be with him tonight. Gotta make the hubs happy, right? So I'm gonna do a smoky eye, okay? Super excited. I love smoky eyes. I feel like they can be so intimidating, but there's no reason really for them to be, as long as you build the color up and don't just go in too dark too fast. So I am literally gonna go based on what I have now, and I'm just gonna add to it. So my favorite way to do a smoky eye is to, you know, wear eyeshadows through the day, and then if you're gonna like smoke it up for night, just adding some more on top. You already have so much color there that I don't need to do my transition, nothing. I'm just gonna slowly build up darker shades because I don't have a whole lot of dark on. I'm even gonna leave my liner, and you'll see that it's gonna pretty much be covered by the time I'm done, and then I can add more on top of it to darken it even more. Layering eyeshadows is kind of how I learned how to do eyeshadows. When you don't like something, you can keep layering. It's not gonna hurt anything. So let's pick out some shades. So I'm gonna go with, this is the hard part. I'm gonna show you guys how to smoke it up, and then I'm gonna show you how to add some fun, okay? And fun, by fun, I mean, we're gonna add some glitter after that. So I don't wear glitter very often, but holiday parties and conference, usually the 2 times a year where I have a whole lot of fun and I wear it. So let's get started. First of all, I'm gonna just start with a darkened outer corner shade. So this is the easiest way to add drama to any look, is just by adding a deep shade to the outer corner. My favorite brush for that by far is the Blend and Tap brush. And you know what? We're just gonna go in with Coal. All right, this is a great shade to smoke it out because it's literally a really dark charcoal color, okay? I'm gonna tap in, tap off excess, and I'm gonna go right where that liner is, and I'm just gonna press right along that line, okay? And I'm gonna add a little bit more, and I'm just gonna press right there, and then I'm gonna slowly start pressing right into my crease. Can you see how I just made a V? Okay, so I'm just gonna press, 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 and I'm just gonna keep pressing. So I love this brush because all you have to do is press and it blends like a dream. Okay, so there you go. I'm already so much more dramatic in 2 seconds, right? Same thing, other side. Press on. A little bit more, press on, press into the crease, and then back and forth in that V. Okay, so on this side, I feel like I got a little too harsh right there. I love this brush. Flip it around, and then just press the clean side along the edges to kind of blur them out slightly, okay? The key with a smoky eye, I feel like, is just making sure you're doing the same thing to both eyes, because when they're that dark, you need to make sure they are even. Okay, so that was Coal. I'm going to grab my Multitasker brush, and I'm going to grab just a tiny bit on the edge, and I'm gonna run that underneath my lash line. I'm kind of mimicking what I just did on the top, and I'm gonna connect the two. One of the key things is to make sure if you have a dark color here, put at least some on that lower lash line and connect them so you don't have a gap. And since we already have that wing, it really serves as a guide to know where to put it as well. Okay, you could do the same thing with an even darker shade. If you really want to go wild and use Salem, you can use Salem in the same way. I like to go just a tad more subtle, but then I'm gonna just add a little bit of color to it as well because I can't help myself. So which one should we go for? You know what? I'm gonna go with Gilded because I feel like it matches a little bit. Not that I'm all matchy-matchy, but I love this shade, so any excuse to wear it. So I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'm going to do it just slightly inside my lid, slightly inside my lid. Did that even make sense? Inside where I just placed the other color. So right inside where I did Coal, I'm then gonna do Gilded, and see if you can even see that. It's kind of a burgundy shimmery shade. So I'm keeping my eyes dark. So you could stop right there. I love that look. I would add just a little bit of highlight in the center. Okay. So next I'm gonna grab Kin. So Kin is darker, more purple than Gilded. And I'm gonna kind of just run that on the very perimeter for just a pop of color from where I did Coal. And then blend that out. So that it's not just gray. And it kind of fades into that purple. So very little Kin am I using. Just a touch. You could even just use Kin as your dark shade, okay? And then I'm going to add a little bit to the lower lash line. As well. Okay, for the inner corner, even when I'm doing smoky, I always want kind of that cat eye, like I have small eyes, so I'm trying to make my eyes look bigger. So when I try to make my eyes look bigger, I go with a brighter shade on that inside corner. So you can go with virtually anything here. I don't want anything too light. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Foxy, and I'm gonna use the Multitasker, and I'm just going to press a little bit on my inner corner and blend it into those colors. Okay, so it's kind of just brown, golden, so pretty. I could stop there, but I'm not gonna, because what did I say? I'm gonna add a little party. So my favorite way to add party, little glitter primer. Guys, a little bit of this goes a long way. This is by NYX. I'm gonna literally put that much on my finger because I'm not adding a whole lot of glitter. I'm gonna kind of get it on my fingers, and I'm just gonna press right where I just added Foxy, because that is the only part, and actually right where the two meet as well. So it can kind of ombre. All right, and then I'm going to pick up that same Multitasker brush, and I'm going to pick up my favorite glitter, which is Graceland. So it's very similar in tone to Foxy. Obviously, it's more sparkly, but I don't want something too crazy. I want those gold tones, and I'm going to just pick up some on my brush, and I'm gonna press it on, concentrating on that inner corner and letting it, and then I'm just gonna kind of pull it over so that less glitter gets in the center, if that makes sense. So it ombres out brighter, more concentrated to less. Perfect. So the glitter glue is pretty much just sticky so that the glitter sticks and doesn't just fall out everywhere. It is key if you're gonna wear glitter to have something sticky as a base. Makes it night and day 10 times easier. Okay, so we're almost done with our eyes. We pretty much got the main look down. I'm gonna grab my clean brush. I'm gonna blur any edges to make sure I have no harsh lines. I'm gonna clean up, make sure I don't have any fallout, blend the bottom, and then I'm going to line again. So I pretty much covered up my entire wing. There's still a little bit peeking through, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pick up my Black Friday liner again, and I'm just gonna kind of stamp it along that lash line to kind of darken it back up, because I want a dark lash line to make my lashes look thicker. Now I can see exactly where that line was, so I'm just gonna press right on. I feel like with a smoky eye, you gotta wear eyeliner or it doesn't look complete. Maybe that's just my opinion, but I feel like it completes it. It pulls it all together. In fact, when I do smoky eye, I also like to line the bottom. So my favorite for doing my waterline is just a pencil. So I just kind of lightly pull and line the waterline. I cannot look in the camera while I do this. Okay, anytime I line the waterline, I pull a little bit under. And in fact, I really like the Black Friday more so than that for doing this. And I like the Multitasker, the itty bitty end, because this smudges out so well. Now that I have glitter all over it. This is why it's so much easier when you have multiple of every brush. You don't have to clean in between. Okay, I'm gonna smudge it out with that brush. Mascara is also key on those bottom lashes when you have that smoked out look or when you line your waterline. I feel like it looks odd when you don't. It ties it together as well. So if you're like me and you feel like you get slightly darker there once you do your eye makeup, again, go back in with just a touch. Look at that. I added too much. Touch of linen. Holy moly. I told you guys a little goes a long way. I'm gonna pick up this brush here. And brighten. Pressing, pressing, pressing. There we go. All the way to the inner corner. Oh my gosh, now I feel like I need a little bit. There. So let's be real, when you're doing your eye makeup, your hand sits on your face. All kinds of weird spots that you don't realize. Okay, what's next? Lips. Okay, get the glitter off. And then we're gonna line with indigo again. This time I'm gonna do a little bit more subtle. I'm just gonna use it as a shadow. Okay, so I'm gonna use, it might seem like a weird combination. I'm gonna use our holiday shade Ever Red as like a stain. So just very lightly. And that's, to me, not so bold. You could totally go with that, but I'm gonna make it into a nude lip. I'm gonna put Ballerina over it. And then Summer Love. You guys know I'm all about the layering. How many more shades can I wear? And then Sunshine State again in the center. And you guys, I'm almost done, I swear. So now I'm going to do a little bit of an illuminator. So first of all, I'm gonna grab Eyeshadow Everything brush. I'm gonna do a little bit of Starlit inside corner. Can you see? It's kind of like an iridescent shimmer. Okay, and then clean brush, same thing. Top of the cupid's bow. Okay, look number 2 is complete. What do you guys think? Which one would you rather do? Like a fun, glittery, smoky eye nude lip, which is totally my go-to, or do you prefer a more subtle eye and a bold lip for your holiday look? I feel like you can't go wrong either way. They're both gorgeous. It's just totally personal preference. So hopefully that gave you some ideas on some ways to up your holiday look, and hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Bye.